They called her Mouse, quiet, small, always shrinking into the shadows of Jefferson High's crowded hallways. Emma Grayson, barely 16, with her oversized sweater and downcast eyes, was an easy target. Her books would get knocked from her arms, her lunch tray accidentally tipped over, her name whispered in mocking tones that echoed through the cafeteria. The Bullies, led by Courtney Blake and her pack of sneering followers, ruled the school like it was their personal kingdom. They thrived on cruelty, picking apart anyone who dared to be different. And Emma? She was their favorite prey. It started small, as it always does. A snicker here, a shove there. "Move, Mouse!" Courtney would snap, her voice sharp as a blade, her friends cackling as Emma stumbled to pick up her scattered pencils. Day after day, the torment grew bolder. They'd tug at her braid, mock her soft voice in class, spread rumors that made her cheeks burn with shame. Emma never fought back. She'd just clutch her books tighter, her lips trembling, and slip away to the library, where the world couldn't touch her. But the Bullies always found her. "What's wrong, Mouse? Gonna cry again?" Courtney taunted one afternoon, her manicured nails flicking Emma's ear as the crowd laughed. The injustice burned, but Emma stayed silent. She always did. No one knew much about her. She lived on the edge of town in a run-down trailer with her dad, a man who rarely spoke and never smiled. Kids whispered he was a drunk, a nobody. Emma didn't talk about home, didn't talk about much at all. But there was something in her eyes, a flicker of steel beneath the fear, a spark the Bullies couldn't stamp out. They hated her for it. "Think you're better than us, Mouse?" Courtney sneered one day, shoving Emma against a locker so hard her shoulder bruised. The hallway erupted in laughter, but Emma just stared at the floor, her jaw tight, her heart pounding with a secret she couldn't share. Not yet. The breaking point came on a crisp autumn afternoon. The school was buzzing with the usual chaos, kids shouting, lockers slamming, the air thick with teenage bravado. Courtney and her crew had Emma cornered near the gym, their voices dripping with venom. "Look at her, all pathetic," one of them jeered, snatching Emma's notebook and tossing it into a puddle. Emma lunged for it, her voice breaking as she pleaded, "Please, stop!" The crowd roared with laughter, phones raised to capture her humiliation. Courtney stepped closer, towering over her. "You're nothing, Mouse. You'll always be nothing." Emma's hands shook as she clutched the soggy notebook, tears welling but refusing to fall. The Bullies closed in, their voices a rising storm, when suddenly a sound cut through the air. It was distant at first, a low, rhythmic thump, like a heartbeat in the sky. The crowd froze, heads turning, confusion rippling through them. The sound grew louder, closer, a thunderous pulse that shook the ground beneath their feet. Emma's eyes widened, not with fear, but with something else. Recognition. The Bullies stepped back, their smirks fading as the roar became unmistakable. Helicopters. Not one, but three, their sleek black forms slicing through the sky like predators. Black Hawks, military grade, their blades whipping the air into a frenzy as they descended toward the school's football field. The crowd scattered, phones forgotten, their bravado crumbling. Courtney's face paled as she stammered, "What the hell is that?" Teachers poured out of the building, shouting for order, but no one listened. All eyes were on the choppers as they touched down, kicking up clouds of dust and grass. Armed men in tactical gear leapt out, their movements precise, their faces unreadable behind dark sunglasses. The lead operative scanned the chaos, then locked eyes with Emma. "Miss Grayson," he said, his voice calm but commanding. "We're here for you." The world seemed to stop. Courtney's jaw dropped, her friends frozen in place, their cruel laughter replaced by stunned silence. Emma stood, clutching her notebook, her shy demeanor shifting. She straightened, her eyes meeting the operatives with a quiet strength no one had ever seen. "I'm ready," she said, her voice steady, unwavering. The crowd parted as she walked toward the helicopters, her steps sure, her head high. The bullies stared, their faces a mix of fear and disbelief as the truth hit them like a tidal wave. Emma wasn't just some nobody. She wasn't Mouse. Her father wasn't a drunk. He was Colonel Daniel Grayson, a decorated Special Forces commander who'd been deep undercover for years, protecting secrets that could topple governments. Emma's quiet life, her rundown trailer, her silence. It was all a cover. She'd been trained to blend in, to stay invisible, until the day her father's mission required her extraction. The Blackhawks weren't just helicopters. They were a signal. Emma was someone important, someone untouchable, and the bullies had just crossed a line they couldn't uncross. As Emma climbed into the lead chopper, she glanced back at Courtney, who stood rooted to the ground, her face a mask of shock. "You're wrong," Emma said softly, her words carrying over the roar of the blades. "I'm not nothing." The door slid shut, and the helicopters lifted off, their thunder fading into the distance as the crowd stood speechless, the weight of their actions crashing down. Courtney's hands trembled, her reign over Jefferson High shattered in an instant. The girl they'd mocked, the girl they'd pushed aside, was gone, whisked away to a life they'd never understand. Word spread like wildfire. By the next day, the school was abuzz with whispers of Emma's true identity. Some said she was a spy, others a diplomat's daughter. The truth was classified, but one thing was clear. The bullies had messed with the wrong girl. Courtney tried to laugh it off, but her voice shook, her confidence eroded. Her friends drifted away, their loyalty as fleeting as their cruelty. The school's hierarchy shifted, the airlighter without their reign of terror. Kids who'd once cowered now walked taller, inspired by the shy girl who'd stood up in her own way. Emma never returned to Jefferson High. Some say she's out there, training for missions of her own, carrying her father's legacy. Others swear they saw her in a news clip, standing beside a diplomat in some far-off country, her eyes still quiet but fierce. Wherever she is, one thing's certain. She left behind a lesson etched into the hearts of everyone who witnessed that day. The quiet ones, the ones you overlook, the ones you push aside, they might just be the ones who change everything. So the next time you see someone like Emma, someone who seems small, someone who shrinks from the spotlight, think twice. You never know who they really are, what strength lies beneath their silence, or what Blackhawks might come for them. Justice doesn't always shout. Sometimes it arrives with a roar, swift and undeniable, leaving the cruel to face the wreckage of their own making. Be kind, be brave, and never underestimate the power of the underdog.